This is a beauty. Give it a wing. Golden eagle.
For the true poop on birding, stay tuned to Twits and Pishers.
Hello birders and welcome to the badlands of southern Alberta. Specifically, I'm standing in Dinosaur Provincial Park, the biggest, most spectacular, most famous and most worth visiting chunk of badlands in this entire country. Now we're off to a good start. We stopped on the way down here at the other famous chunk of badlands in Alberta, the Drumheller Badlands. And what do you know if Larry the Sound Man didn't say to me, there's a vulture, John. And I ignored him because there are no vultures there, but it was a vulture. In fact, we saw two turkey vultures. Spectacular birds if you like vultures, and they're becoming more and more common here and there in little pockets throughout Canada. So that was a good start, but now we've got before us this tremendous expanse of sculpted rock, and there are interesting birds living in these badlands. There are also songbirds along the river in the cottonwood forests, and there are other interesting birds that we can find up on the prairie. So let's get to it. Let's do some badlands bird watching.
Dinosaur Provincial Park is located north and east of Brooks, not far from the Trans-Canada Highway along the Red Deer River in southern Alberta.
The cottonwood forests along the Red Deer River are incredibly densely filled with nesting songbirds. This is a superb place for bird watching, although it's one of those places where you get little brief glimpses of birds as they flit among in the greenery. I have kind of warm memories of this place because my friend John Walper and I used to lead birding tours here, you know, birding walks. We worked for the park and we would get up at 6 in the morning and lead these walks. They don't do it anymore because too many people were coming on the walks and it became too difficult. But Walper's here with me today, and was that just a kingbird that went by?
Yep, kingbird. Oh, there's some waxwings up just on the top there.
Let's have a look there. Cedar waxwings?
Yeah, 6, maybe 7. Good.
All adults too. I guess it's too early for the young ones to be able to.
Yeah, I think so.
Streaky. They're streaky when they're young, aren't they?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little sort of rumpled look.
Oh yeah, no, they don't have that perfect sleekness that the adults do.
Yeah.
No, it's great. And yellow warblers over there.
Yeah.
They're little, but they really stick out because of the color, don't they?
Oh yeah. There's a nice faint orange streaking on the breast there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That was, what was that? That was a yellow throat calling there, eh?
I think so.
Yeah, yeah.
One of my favorites. Now there's, I'm just trying to think, if there was friends of Sid's that had a chat. No, they saw a chat along the trail. They might have done
We're
both.
having a chat too.
That's true.
I wouldn't mind seeing a chat.
Yeah. I think it was just down a little bit closer to the river.
Mm-hmm. Well, you want to go look for a chat?
I think so. Yeah.
We're going to go look for a chat.
Okay.
Excellent.
You can try.
John Walper is one of my favorite birding buddies, since he and I both agree that life lists and checklists are nowhere near as important as an enjoyable day in the field. Fortunately, birders like John vastly outnumber the checklist fanatics in most parts of the world.
Okay, what's that sound there? That sounds kind of chattery.
Yep. Yeah, it's right over from in there.
Chat's a warbler, but it doesn't really warble, does it?
Right by that chokecherry bush, the sort of the right-hand edge of it.
Do you see something?
Yeah, there's a flashy yellow.
Oh, I don't see
Yeah,
anything.
it's a chat.
I've got leaves in the way.
Yeah, just one though. If there was a crate of them, it'd be a chatterbox.
I can't see it.
He's dropped down right
Everything
now.
I learned about puns, I learned from you, you know. And he went down.
Yeah, he
there.
went down.
Oh, I wish I could get a look at him.
Well, see if we can chat him up. Yeah. No, I can.
Oh, how
not
frustrating.
There. Yeah.
Well, we found it though. That's got to count for something.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, what's that there?
Sharpshin?
Sharp-shinned hawk?
Yeah, it might be.
No kidding. I've never seen one here in the summer before.
No, I haven't either.
That's fine.
Passed through in the spring, but that's about it.
Yeah. Well, that was a bonus moment.
For sure.
Right on.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we should go to the Badlands
I think
now.
we should, yeah. Get these trees out of the way.
Oh, yeah. Nice open country, nothing to hide behind
Oh, yeah.
but hoodoos.
Perfect.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Now, most of the land in Dinosaur Provincial Park has been set aside as what's called a natural preserve. And in order to get into the preserve, you have to be accompanied by a member of the park staff, usually as part of an organized bus tour. But we're fortunate today to be with Sid Andrews, an interpreter here at the park. He's also a good birder, and he's a longtime friend of Walper's and my own. And we are checking out a golden eagle nest, one of the most spectacular birds you can find anywhere.
Oh, look, guys. There goes an adult. Just off to the right, and it's headed up. Hey, it's got something in its beak, too. That's pretty unusual. You know, they usually carry things in their talons, but look at that. Oh, and you know, there's something else going on there, too. There's some small birds flittering around the nest. They look like swallows. The eaglets don't seem to mind them at all, but look at them. In and out. They're violet green swallows. Looks like they're after the flies around the nest.
Yeah, they must have been busy, Sid. There's a Richardson ground squirrel on the side of the nest as well. Right opposite the two chicks, it's on the right-hand side. Yeah, you wouldn't think a little guy like that would go for the nest, but there he is. Unchewed, but dinner awaiting.
Well, that's first rate. You know, one of the reasons they set aside this preserve in the first place was to protect the peace and quiet for the nesting birds of prey, as well as to protect the fossils, of course. So we'll just have one more quick look, and then we'll get out of the way in case that adult bird was going to bring some food to the chicks. Those chicks are just about adult size. They don't have their flight feathers, but they'll be ready to go soon. Anyway, this is great. Getting a look at a golden eagle on its nest, first rate. Can't beat it.
The Alberta Badlands attract thousands of visitors each year since they are completely unlike any other place in Canada. It's hard to concentrate on the birds in such a nifty environment. We spent time admiring a prairie rattlesnake, a really big prairie rattlesnake in fact, and some lovely prickly pear cactus flowers. Usually this area is hot and dry, but during our stay the weather was a bit cloudier than normal.
Well, Walper, I gotta thank you for finding these burrowing owls, but I wish they were just a bit closer.
You bet. That one out there, way out there, is pretty cooperative, but right by that foxtail, he's just top of his head. That's about it.
Yeah, he's looking at us through the grass.
Yeah.
Just a little speck.
Yeah.
Round-headed speck.
Well, the one way out there just flew up just a bit.
Oh yeah, you can see the short tail and the round wings. That's about it.
Yeah.
I think the only time I've gotten good looks at these things is out a car window.
Yeah.
When they don't know you're there.
Yeah. I wonder if it's these shorebirds that are sort of distracting them and keeping them low too.
Yeah, you know, it seems you can't go anywhere in this part of the world without being harassed by curlews or godwits or killdeers.
Yeah. Now you look around, do you see a shore?
No shore. They can't be shorebirds.
Must be offshore birds.
Sure enough.
Acorn. We're right in their territory. Look at these things down here.
Oh, pellets.
Some pellets,
How
yeah.
about that? So this must be its roosting spot.
Yeah.
It's where it regurgitates them.
Yeah. A horkin post.
Horkin post. So what? Oh, well, this is always fun. You can tell what they've been eating.
Yeah.
What do you got?
I got mostly hair.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and a little mandible.
Like
Little
a rodent?
Yeah, right there on top.
Oh yeah,
See?
sure. Yeah, it's a rodent jaw for sure.
Yeah.
But
Pretty
there's
small.
lots of bug parts in here too. Oh, there's a wing cover from a carrion beetle.
Oh, sure.
That orange and black
Yeah.
striped thing. Wow, what a disgusting thing to eat. Yeah.
Well, and have it go through twice too.
Oh, and looks like, well, that's another wing cover from some kind of carabid, maybe
Yeah.
a calisoma.
Sure. Grab it before it gets away.
That's what they say. Well, once you get up out of the badlands, this is what prairie birding is like. Spooky birds way far away. What do we got out there?
Look like curlews.
Long-billed curlews.
Long bill.
And what do we saw? Lark buntings, horned larks,
Meadowlarks.
meadowlarks. Only one of which is actually a lark.
That's true.
But every time we see a lark, we have our traditional lark song that we have to sing.
We have to.
We do.
There's no choice.
I'll set the tone. The lark, and in the morning she rises from her nest, and she flies o'er the ploughboy with the dew upon her breast. That was nice. Brings back memories.
It does.
Yeah, a thing of beauty.
Driven all the birds
Just like this
completely
prairie.
out of this place.
Yeah, the curlews just flew away.
Funny thing.
Now, this particular lark on this particular morning was not rising from its nest. At first, we thought it was faking a broken wing to draw us away from the nest. You know, if we were predators, we might think it was an easy kill. But we then considered the possibility that it was performing a droop-winged courtship display for an unseen female. Who knows? Why did the curlew cross the road? Well, with birds like this, no one knows for sure. Ha, shorebird humor. It's kind of jokes only a marbled godwit would laugh at. I like seeing marbled godwits and long-billed curlews on the open prairie. And we were also pleased to see an upland sandpiper on a fence post. That's not a very common sight anymore. At the end of the day, we retired to the Valley of the Moon for one of our favorite activities.
Well, there's just about nothing nicer than sitting out in the badlands at sunset watching the nighthawks.
Yeah.
Yep. There's one now.
They're not hawks.
They're not hawks, that's true. They're goat suckers.
But they don't suck goats.
I guess that was the old story, wasn't it?
It was.
That they go into the barn and milk your goats for you?
Yeah.
At night. And not
Just
leave
'cause
you
they
any
have-
in the pail.
Just because they have big mouths. They're neat, though. They really like these kind of open places where they can nest right on the flat ground.
Mhm.
Forest fires, they like those.
Forest fires.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Burn areas, they
Oh,
like
burnt
those.
air. Oh, that makes sense.
Not, well, it's burning.
No.
Bad place for a nest.
If you're hiding the feathers.
Yeah.
But you know, is it because they have these weak feet and can't put their feet around a branch that they lie flat? And so therefore, they can't build very much of a nest.
Oh, I guess so. That's right. They do have little tiny feet.
Yeah. It's interesting watching them take off as well when they're on the ground because they sort of flutter almost like a broken wing act. Or takes them a few hops sort of to get going. Or flutters, I guess, because they're not using their legs much.
I can't remember ever seeing one taking off the ground.
Yeah.
They are a goofy bird, though. You know, I've watched a male on the ground, and he's been just a few feet away, like over to John's foot. And I sat very still, and he sat there going, and then went, bzz.
So he had to
All
load
that
up
work.
before he could.
Yeah, all that work just for that. bzz.
That's just too cool. How far do you think they dive when they make the sound?
Oh,
It's like
More than 100 feet.
Yeah, probably even a couple hundred.
It's quite impressive.
And they're out there catching bugs when they're...
Lots of bugs. Although I don't know whether they're really up to that when they're busy zooping.
Oh, there's one.
Got one?
Yeah.
All right.
See, everybody makes different noises, don't they? I go bzzzt.
I go bang.
But that noise is not made by them themselves. I mean, from their throats when they're actually coming out of the dive. That's through the wing feathers.
Oh, that's right, yeah. Yeah, it's kind of a, like snipes.
Like snipes and woodcocks.
Well, I guess snipes, no, snipes do it with the tail feathers, don't they?
That's
They
true.
spread the tail and go hoo-hoo.
Yeah. The whole point is it's not something they're making vocally.
Correct, yeah.
Another part of the body.
Okay, well, let's talk about birding fashion, and in particular, binocular straps. A good full-size pair of binoculars can be a birder's best buddy, but you know, the thin straps that come with the binoculars, sometime after a hard day in the field, that strap can really get to your neck. Depends on what kind of neck you've got, but for me, I can't stand these thin straps. But have a look at this. A lot of birders these days are going to a neoprene strap. It's a bit wider, takes a lot of the weight distributed more evenly on the neck, and it's stretchy too, so that even in case of some rapid movement, you won't hurt yourself, jarring yourself with the binocular strap. But to my mind, the ultimate is to take the weight of the binoculars completely off your neck. Use one of these binocular harnesses. Very intriguing design. You can slip it under your epaulets if you happen to wear a uniform. And it looks very, very professional, almost even funky in the field. The choice is yours, and you're going to look good no matter which one you pick.
Now here's a tricky identification for all you armchair birders out there. It's a soaring hawk, a beauty-o, but which one? Well, if you noticed the dark flight feathers and said it was a young Swainson's hawk, at least you agree with me. In this part of the world, almost every tree will have either a Swainson's hawk nest in it or the nest of a close relative, the magnificent ferruginous hawk.
Well, you're right. That's a ferruginous hawk nest.
You betcha.
How about that?
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty hard to find, just looking the only tree for miles in any direction.
Ah, but what a find, though.
That's excellent.
2 chicks on the nest.
They're pretty big, too.
Yeah.
Pretty big.
Oh, yeah. Look like they're in really good shape.
Mm-hmm.
This is great. I mean, seeing, 2 more of a threatened species coming on.
Yeah, it's a bird that, well, at least for me, every time you come down into this part of the world where the habitat's still there, you see ferruginous hawks, but it's certainly not a common bird at all. So
No.
it's always a thrill.
Yeah.
I think it's my favorite soaring hawk, too.
Mm-hmm.
Not just because it's the biggest, but because it's just beautiful, too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And they got a room with a view there up in that tree. They'll nest in the ground, of course, as well, but right on prairie rims, on badlands, or out in the middle sometimes.
Oh, look at that one chick just poked the head up.
Yeah.
Oh, it's because the adult bird's coming in.
Oh, whereabouts?
Ooh, nice.
Oh, right up
Nice,
there. Okay,
nice,
yeah.
nice, yeah.
Gotcha.
Boy, you just can't get a much better look than that.
Yeah.
Oh, you see the dark shoulders on the
Yeah.
top and the white tail? Looks like a bald eagle with the white tail.
Oh, yeah. Almost all white underside with those dark legs forming the V.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
Well, that's a really first-rate bird to see.
Yeah.
And to see that and the golden eagle on the same trip,
We're doing good.
we haven't found a prairie falcon, but we're doing good.
Yeah.
Have you photographed ferruginous nests before, Walper?
I have.
How did you get into this raptor photography
thing of yours too. You've really been at that for the last couple of years.
Yeah, well, one thing that I've found is I've got sort of a mobile blind with the van.
Mm-hmm.
The birds seem to be quite comfortable with vehicles because they'll go by them on a regular basis, and being able to shoot out of the van, the motion doesn't seem to bother them too much, and they'll sit like these guys are, and I've been able to get, well, good shots of everything from ferruginous and Swainson's hawks to golden eagles, marsh hawks as well, yeah.
Marsh hawks on the nest too? Or?
Yeah, chicks on the nest actually, in all of the hawks, and then golden eagles, flybys, and then been able to sneak up to get the chicks in too. So.
Right.
Yeah, the vehicles work pretty well. Most subjects, I guess, are pretty cooperative, but the birds seem to be really, really good to work with as long as you don't step out of the vehicle itself. Yeah.
Do you find raptors are particularly good subjects?
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm working with just a 200 lens today. I've got a 200 to 500 zoom, and I mean, everything about them, the grace of their flying, just the looks, everything is really nice. Yeah, just one of my favorite subjects. I think I'm going to get one more. Great.
Now, it wouldn't be right to leave this area without at least mentioning a few more of the prairie songbirds, like this beautiful male chestnut-colored longspur. Another sure thing is the western kingbird, which is a big, handsome type of flycatcher. This one was sitting on the same fence line as an eastern kingbird, and whereas the western is a gray bird with a yellow breast, well, the eastern is a black bird with a white breast. They catch insects for food, and although they are surely kings of the bugs, they actually got their name from the fierce way they defend their nests against intruders. Great little hovering bug catchers, aren't they? And this little beauty, it's a savanna sparrow, one of the many prairie birds that pops up along the fence line to give you just a brief glimpse before disappearing back into the grass. With 87 species, this was a pretty typical easy-going birding trip to the Alberta Badlands, and our grand total of 335 species now represents about half the species that most of the keenest birders have seen in North America. Not bad for only 18 two-day excursions.
Well, there you go, birding in the Badlands. I hope you give this a try. I highly recommend it. It's one of my favorite places to go birding, one of my favorite places to spend time in general. On your way here, you can check out the prairie birds. You know, people who think the prairies are just a bunch of flat nothing with no interesting features, they're missing the point. The prairies are loaded with wildlife, and especially birds. Then you can explore the Badlands when you get here, and I guarantee you're going to enjoy that. And if it gets too hot in the Badlands, you can always duck down by the river in the shade of the cottonwood forests and watch for birds there. And remember too, when you get here, there are other people like Sid Andrews with blue uniforms on, and quite a few of them will know something about birds. Some of them will be very keen on birds, and they'll be able to tell you where the best bird watching spots are. So if you like birds, I can highly recommend this. Is one of my favorite places to go birding, and I hope you do it. So until next time, I hope you have happy birding. Join us again. See you later.